Good afternoon. For injuries, Jerry Judy, he's got an ankle, a minor ankle. He'll be day-to-day. We have Billy Turner. He's going to be week-to-week now with his knee. K'Wan Williams will also be week-to-week. And Graham Glasgow dodged a bullet there. We're hoping day-to-day.
Yeah, Coach, how surprised or disappointed are you that you really haven't been able to run the ball consistently this year?
Surprised, I would say. Obviously, when you have the outcomes that you have, you're always disappointed as a coach. But we need to run the ball. We need to run the ball efficiently and consistently. And it starts with me. It starts with the offensive staff. We have to find better ways to be able to get better runs and then execute those.
One quick follow-up on the injuries with Billy and K'Wan. Is there surgery involved with them, and is IR a possibility for either?
I believe K'Wan's going to get a scope, and then we're still evaluating Billy.
And then in terms of just trying to get Russell and in your passing game in a consistent rhythm, what has sort of kept that from happening, I guess, and how do you go about solving that?
Unfortunately, it's been a bunch of different things. It hasn't just been one thing. I think that we need to be more consistent across the board with the play calling on how I adjust things for him and get him and I on the same page. And then it's just the execution. Something will go good, and then right afterwards, something might not work out the way that we thought it would, or there might be something with the route, or there might be something with Russ, maybe a protection. And so it's just more collectively as an offense, we have to be more consistent. That's what we haven't shown for each play over and over.
Nate, you're right. You're in a lot of one-score games, but sometimes it feels like your personnel groupings and the play calling is almost catch-up mode. A lot of three wide, a lot of shotgun. Is that by design or just the way you feel the best options for you with the injuries in the offensive line?
It's a combination of both. We want to be sure we have the best personnel out there, the best one that Russ feels comfortable with to be able to move the ball up and down the field. So trying to do what we think is right for the group and still at the same time mix some of those bigger personnels in and some of those things in there to be able to run the ball. But I think for us, our deficiency has been on third down. So we wanted to try to pass the ball a little bit more to be able to not necessarily be in those third down situations and get a couple chunk plays like we did the game before. So we were trying to build off that.
Is that way open the way you did?
Yeah, a little bit that way. We really liked the package that we had going into the game with that grouping. Obviously, it was a little different once Jerry went out. But I'll tell you, one guy I want to give credit to right away is Kendall Hinton. I mean, what Kendall did, he was under the weather, and he had not played that position of Jerry's that week because he was getting ready for a different position. And for him to miss practice due to sickness and then go out there and play at that position the whole game, and I mean, he didn't have any mental errors. He went out there, made some plays. I mean, he toughed it out. I mean, he did a great job.
Coach, you told us yesterday that it starts with accountability with you, with the coaches, the players, but can you have that without consequences? Does somebody need to be benched? Do you need to reassign someone? Does there need to be consequence to maybe spur some of this?
I think we're evaluating everything. I mean, and first, it starts with me. I mean, we got to make sure that the play calls are the right play calls and the ones that are going to put the guys in the right position to be successful. We'll evaluate that. We'll evaluate everything that we do. I mean, we're 3-6. We're not where we want to be. Nobody's accepting that. That's not the standard that we want to be. We're not scoring enough points. It's that simple. And we got to find a way to do that. And so we'll evaluate everything, every person across the board.
Coach, over here with Billy Turner out for a little while, what's Cam Fleming's status? How's he doing? And Quinn Bailey, how would you assess his play?
I think Quinn came in there and did a really good job. I mean, another guy that hasn't gotten a lot of reps throughout the year, and he's been working on scout team, and then we activated him for this game, and he jumped right in there, and it wasn't too big for him. I thought he did in the beginning. It was a little, a little bit needed to get his feet underneath him, but as the game went on, I thought he did a good job. And Cam, we'll see. He's day-to-day, so we'll see where he's at as we move forward.
On the protection and the quarterback hits, when you went back and looked at it, how much was maybe on the offensive line versus not getting the ball out quickly enough, and then Russ took a lot of hits between that and him being banged up before London? Is there any concern there with how many hits he's taken recently?
There's always a concern. You never want to see your quarterback get hit. So I think that's always something, I hate when he gets hit, and but I know that he's doing everything he can out there to try to make a play. he wants to do everything he can from that. And I would tell you, I don't think it's necessarily one thing. I don't think it was just the offensive line. I think it's us as a collective group, and that's why we have to evaluate everything from the guys that are out there to the coaches to all of us to be able to be sure that we get the best schemes possible.
Coach, in all but one of your losses, it's been a one-score game. Is there any consolation to that? Are you hanging on to that, saying that we're close?
I mean, we're close, but that's not what we're here for. We're not here to be number one in close games. We're here to win football games. It shows that, the men in that locker room stay together and they battle all the way till the end of the game, which is what I believe in. And I love all those guys that are in that locker room. And it shows that we have the potential to win some of these games, but we got to get this stuff fixed.
Nathaniel, when you're installing this offense in the offseason and preseason, where did you think it would be at this point in terms of efficiency and everybody being on the same page with it?
Definitely not where we're at right now. Definitely not. I think that there's been a lot of things that have accounted to that. But as a staff, as a group, as an offensive group, we want to be sure we put the best grouping out there. We want to put the best plays out there that fit Russ and fit this offense. And we're still working through that because it hasn't looked like what any of us want it to look like.
Nate, you're 9 games into being a head coach halfway through a season. What have you maybe learned as a head coach so far, and where do you think you can get better? Is there anything that's surprised you these first 9 games?
I mean, there's been so many things. I mean, every day as a coach you learn. I think that's what makes you good at what you do. I mean, my entire career I felt like I've learned every day. And I learned the most from the players. I think they teach me the most every day on who they are, how to get the most out of them, every single thing that I can do to help them get better. But I think, I evaluate myself more than anybody through the play calling, through everyday operation to how we run practices. I mean, I'm looking at everything all the time. So I think that I would tell you there's been a lot. I mean, it's definitely a lot. When you step into this role, my dad always told me that you never really know until you're in that chair. You always think but once you're in it, you'll see. And he would always kind of joke when I first got the job, he's going to be like, now you're going to see. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. And I think that probably the biggest thing that I've learned for me right now is just the ability to organize my time. I think that the time from the game planning to with the players, with everybody around, I think that's been one thing that I've had to adjust to and make sure that I give everybody the due diligence that they deserve.
By the same token, Coach, I'm curious how you and your family kind of keep your respective sanities when you get into, the life. You watched it. That hamster's wheel gets going. And do you feel with a game like this and a home game that maybe you might be coaching for your job? And how do you fight those thoughts if they come in?
I learned a long time ago you're coaching for your job every day. I mean, every single day you come in that building and you compete and you fight to be the best version of yourself and try to bring the best out of everybody around you. That's just how this is. That's how I've always known it is. I mean, when it comes to the family, hey, I love them. They know what we got into. This is part of it. I've been doing this my whole life since I was born. It's been going on. And, like I said, you're always coaching for your life. To me, it's not about me, though. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with this team. It has to do with these coaches. It has to do with all of us coming together and find a way to win a football game. And that's on Sunday. But we got to come together as a group. I'm secondary. It's about all of us uniting and coming together and beating the Raiders.
Hey, Nate, why do you think that halftime adjustments haven't led to more productivity, especially coming out in the third quarter?
There's been some. We've started off slow, and then we've done good in the second half. In the first half, we've started off fast and then not done good in the second half. Again, I think that we got to be sure that we're getting the right adjustments. We're getting the right plays. There were a couple things that we did good, and then we got stalled on third down. Or, again, some of the penalties kind of stalled us in that second half. And we just got to be better as coaches first. That's the most important thing. And then as players, we got to go out there and execute and make plays. So it's just all of us collectively as a group. We got to be sure that we're getting on the same page. Thank you.